The Dog Who Could Not Bark by Mommy Love. In a small village far away from the maddening noise of a big city, a dog was about to be born. Mama Dog had this pup by a wayward dog from another farm, and just as it is in a Canaan culture, the Papa Dog is not expected to see the Mama Dog through while birthing. As Mama Dog was in pain, Grandpa Dog and Grandma Dog were out of the barn looking for spare bones from their master's kitchen. The farmer and the farmer's wife were gone to the city selling their farm yield. There was nothing left for these farm watchdogs as the couple left too early dawn before the rooster crowed. So grandparent dogs thought of finding food in the neighboring barn, which was quite far from where they are. But unfortunately for both dogs, it rained hard. While on their way, Grandma Dog looked back, but Grandpa Dog had made a decision. He was destined not to let his dog family starve, and the new pup hungry. He held to bid goodbye and left with teary eyes. Grandma Dog struggled to go back to the barn in spite of the heavy storm. Mama Dog cried for help, but to no avail, because the sound of the wind and the rain drowned her wailings. The other animals in the barn wanted to help too, but could only whine, moo, ba, meow, and chip so loud, hoping that Grandma Dog and Grandpa Dog would come back. But Grandpa Dog was way far from the farm already. Grandma Dog had to take shelter under a trunk as it was flooded all over. Mama Dog panted and pushed. Alas, a little pup came out. Its eyes were still shut close, and it was wet all over. Grandma Dog licked the newborn with love and cuddled it to keep it warm. It was a painful ordeal. Mama Dog was so tired and slept soundly. As dusk came, Mama Dog was awakened by a hissing sound. She knew danger was coming and lurking near. A huge snake crawled towards them, ready to strike and devour the little pup. The other animals in the barn saw this too. The horse kicked so hard, whining angrily. The cow mooed and pushed the slabs to warn Mama Dog. The goat bayed angrily, hitting the floor with his horn. The chickens flew all over, warning their chick. The cat hissed and bit the snake's tail. Mama Dog kicked the snake and it crawled out of the barn. Thunder roared and lightning hit the snake. It fell dead. Again, there was peace and quiet inside the barn. But outside, the storm continued to pour heavily, flooding the farm. The wind was blowing madly too. The following day, the little pup stood up, rolled, and ran around. Mama Dog was so proud of him. The other animals welcomed the pup. The fawn, the kid, the calf, kittens, and chicks became his friends easily. But Mama Dog was still wondering where Grandpa Dog and Grandma Dog were, and why the farmer and his wife had not returned. The rain continued to pour as the wind continued to soar. Days went by. Mama Dog was worried. As she was barking to the pup, telling him what their farm duties were, one of which is to bark and keep watch of the farm animals inside the barn, she noticed that the little pup wouldn't bark at all. The pup surely understood all what Mama Dog barked about, but he just could not bark at her with approval. This was a big, huge problem. Mama Dog was extremely worried for the little pup. She shared her great dilemma with her farm friends. So worried what will become of her little pup, she barked, "How am I going to know what he wants and how he feels? All he does is jump and spin around. He taps at anything, he wags his tail endlessly, he rolls on the floor all the time. He never barks. Perhaps he will never be able to bark at all." The other animals noticed this too, and were also worried. The horse whined, "Let's teach him to whine. My little fawn could teach him." The cow mooed, "I can teach him to moo loud. He could do that." The goat bayed, "My kid can learn buying together with him. They are good friends." The chicken chuckled and chipped, "I think it would be easy for him to chip like my little chick. Then we will know what he wants." The cat meowed, "I have a great idea. Since he plays along with my kittens, he will learn how to meow. Surely he will learn fast." So indeed the little pup played with the fawn, the calf, the kid, and the chick and the kittens all day, while Mama Dog and the other animals took turns watching the little ones. Luckily, there was enough milk in the bucket, a sack of corn grit, hay, and water that would last them for another week. It still continued to drizzle. The sky was gloomy, but the sun was shining behind those dark clouds. Before bedtime, the animals would check intently if the little pup had learned to whine, moo, ba, chip, or meow. But to their disappointment, It still could not whine, moo, ba, chip, meow, and even bark. Mama Dog was so very sad, and so were her animal friends in the barn. Grandpa Dog and Grandma Dog had not come back. The farmer and his wife didn't come home too. The rain had stopped pouring and the sun was up at last. The little pup saw Mama Dog crying. He wanted to know what was going on. He wagged his tail, he rolled around, he jumped and spanned, he tapped the floor, and he bit Mama Dog's legs. He just wanted to ask why Mama Dog was crying. But Mama Dog didn't understand. Little pup cried. He could not bark. A bright beam, slowly getting bigger, passed through a tiny slit on the rooftop. The animals saw this and were so happy that the storm was finally over. They all went out of the barn and was in awe, watching the clouds dancing by and the sun shining. And with their animal sound or language, they thanked God. The little pup saw how thankful the animals were to the person who was up there in the sky. He prayed too in silence, as he is not able to bark, whine, moo, ba, chip, and meow. And this was what he prayed in his thoughts. "Oh God up there, please let me bark. I need to ask and tell my Mama Dog many things. You saved us from the snake. You made the storm go away. You made the wind stop blowing hard. I know you will let me bark. Thank you." He was in tears, and Mama Dog, although she didn't understand what the little pup was thinking, cuddled him. Early the next day, the animals were awakened by a sound of a truck entering their farm. The farmer and his wife had come back. There was also a loud bark at the back of the truck where all the goods were placed. It was Grandpa Dog. The farmer and his wife had to stay in the city because it was impossible for them to come back due to the heavy rain. Grandpa Dog stayed in the neighboring barn to be safe too. While the farmer and his wife were driving home, they saw Grandpa Dog along the street running for home, so they picked him. They also found Grandma Dog under the fallen trunk. Her legs were swollen and hurt. They all came home together. It was a happy reunion. The farmer's wife gave the animals a sumptuous supper. The animals had a great time. Grandpa Dog, Grandma Dog, and Mama Dog happily barked their experience, and so did the other animals in their own animal sounds or language. Little Pup jumped about happily and made his first bark, his second bark, and his many bark. Everyone was in awe. Mama Dog barked with Grandma Dog, and Grandpa Dog barked with them all. The little pup continued to bark and never stopped barking since then, and they lived happily ever after.